Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and please somebody call Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes because that was a demolition job by Liverpool beating Chelsea 4-1 to maintain their 5-point gap at the top of the table. And yes, there were some controversial decisions in there, but I think when you look across the game, 28 shots for Liverpool to 4 for Chelsea, 13 shots on targets for Liverpool to 3 for Chelsea, 8 corners to Liverpool to 1 for Chelsea. You can argue that maybe, and I think Chelsea could have got a penalty, especially the one on Nkunku, but it wouldn't take away from the fact that the better team was Liverpool. And you can't argue with the fact that young Bradley at right back looks like a real star in the making again, and he was comfortably man of the match. But Liverpool really stepping through the gears in a week that's going to be fascinating in this title race. They go to the Emirates on Sunday. Arsenal have to win that, but I feel Liverpool have to win that as well, with Man City raring to go behind, doing what Man City do. So massively intriguing. But I think the most impressive thing, before we talk about Chelsea, to focus in on Liverpool. And of course, people will say, well, this is a Liverpool team and a Liverpool crowd that has reacted to Klopp's departure in the summer, and they're going to be, hard to stop this season. But I think even before Klopp's departure, we know Klopp only announced it on Friday. They'd still previously played very well, especially in those 2 games against Fulham. And without Trent, without Robertson, without Endo, and without Mo Salah, I actually think Liverpool, these last few games, have been playing as well as they've been playing all season, if not better. I've been on all season about the importance of Alexis McAllister and how he's really a conductor for that team and sets the tone. Jota, I mean, I said it in the game, he's almost like Gundogan for Man City last season. He's just this player that may not be the star, but is just finding a consistency at a really important time, scoring a lot of goals. He's probably Liverpool's best attacker, and when it comes to implementing the press, the first goal is just, confidence. The pass is on, but he decides to run through Silva and Badiashile. Gets a little bit lucky, but it's a good goal. Bradley with the second goal. The third goal is just a delightful cross by Bradley and a good header by Szoboszlai. Fourth goal is bad defending from Chelsea, but I wasn't impressed with Badiashile tonight. Nunez has hit let's not forget. All right, Chelsea will say we maybe should have had a penalty. Mudryk should have scored that chance. But, as I said in the game, Nunez is hitting more wood than a woodpecker's beak. It's 3 times, and 2 of them you'd have expected him to score, the penalty and the header. So Liverpool could have had more goals. I think 4-1's probably representative of a fair result, and Liverpool with a better team. In relation to the VAR incidents, the Jota one, you can see why it's been given. Chelsea fans will moan about the 2 they could have got. There's not a hell of a lot of difference. The Conor Gallagher one's probably the weakest of all. I do think the Nkunku one, really, if the referee gives that, VAR gives it. It's just one of those where I think looking back at it, you could have given it. He's come through and kicked him. There's enough contact there for me for the player to go down, and it probably should have been a penalty. And at 3-2, it makes the game a bit more interesting, but I still think Liverpool would have gone on and scored again. It had that sort of feel to it. And apart from that, really, Chelsea just haven't done enough again. They've got a lot of good players. It was, the Nkunku goal was well taken. Maybe he can be a solution in Chelsea's attacking woes, but they still look to me a team that's just not in tune with each other. I think there's a huge job at Chelsea. I don't know whether people would be talking about sacking Pochettino. Realistically, it's somewhat similar to Manchester United in a sense that there is a lot of work that needs to be done there. There's a lot of players. There's a lot of money spent on those players, but there's not a cohesion. And I think, honestly, Chelsea still need to bring 3 or 4 more players in to produce a team that's got more synergy, and they need to remove players. And it's the worrying thing for Chelsea is, they've got a Carabao Cup final, but it's against Liverpool, who are clearly better than them. They're still in the FA Cup, but they've got to go away to Villa to get through. And when you look at the league, all right, they're only 5 points off 6th, but they're 10th, and they've got some difficult games to come. And I look at the teams like Spurs and Liverpool and Man City and Arsenal and Villa, and I don't think they're going to get caught, because I think they've got a nice 10 to 15 point cushion on the likes of United and Newcastle and Chelsea and Brighton. And in this league this season, you're not going to, making 10 points up means winning a load of games and hoping everyone else loses a load of games. And I just don't think you're going to find that consistency, certainly not from a Chelsea this season. So I think Chelsea, the scary thing for Chelsea is they're probably destined for another season like this where they've got no European football. And all right, I think that many Chelsea fans would have seen this season as a rebuild season, but you'd expect to be back in Europe in some way, shape or form next season. And that's looking increasingly unlikely, which then makes this season a bit of a write-off for them. So, look, they're struggling, Chelsea. They've got to find a rhythm. I know they've had injuries, but a lot of clubs have. And I look at the squads of Liverpool and Chelsea, and they're worlds apart. You know, Liverpool haven't really got obviously better players, but they've definitely got better balance. They're playing a system. They understand it. And I think that's the first step back for Chelsea, is to establish some sort of identity, which every time I watch Chelsea, they're like yo-yo FC. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. And you come into a game like this and think, oh, Chelsea are more than capable of getting something at Anfield. And then very quickly you realise there's a very big difference between these two teams and that Liverpool are not going to relent or have an off day. So, yeah, Chelsea are a lot of work, and their season is, you know, much like Man United, their season could become over and nothing very, very quickly. If they don't start to find a little bit of an identity, which I think at least would be something for Chelsea to take into the summer. And I think European football is very, very important for them. As for Liverpool, look, I think if they go to Arsenal and win at the weekend, I'd probably start to think they're going to be favourites. I think these two games were always going to be season defining. We know Man City are there ready to pounce. They can't pounce if you keep the gap open. Man City have got some very winnable games coming up. Liverpool have got two very difficult games. They've won one of them. Go to the Emirates. If they can win that, I think it really does, for the first time this season, make me and others start to think maybe Liverpool are the real deal to win this league. But at the moment, I still think Man City, because of the experience they've got. But if Liverpool can win at Emirates, and then they know they've got people like Salah coming back, and it will be massively galvanising for them. And they're very impressive at the moment. And there's a real sense of belief, and I don't think it's just because Klopp's going. I think they looked like that before, and they've got so many options as well. I mean, those 4 subs that they brought on, was it Harvey Elliott, Gakpo, Robertson, and Trent? You know, you're bringing those players on, and Endo, Salah aren't here, and that Tsimikas isn't here either, is he as well? So you're bringing those 4 players on. They're all good players, which means that the 11 started who were playing well are good players. You know, he's got so many options, and yeah, they're going to need a little bit of luck around injuries and stuff, but that Arsenal game's massive. As I said, personally, for the title race, I wish that game was being played in April, because you almost want Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs just to keep winning, like Man City are, but you know, it's going to be massive for the title. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Take care. Oh, please do subscribe, by the way, because we're only about 100 subscribers away from 1.1 million. Thanks everyone. You're legends. I'll speak to you all on the next one.